This is a great little recipe that's really filling and really, really tasty as well. It's my chicken rice. Now, it starts with some chicken thigh that I've got the skin on and the bone out. A little bit of salt on there and some pepper because you want to season it up really, really well. Now, I'll pop them straight into my pan that's nice and hot. You got that sizzle coming already, and put them around the pan so I'll get them nice and crispy. Now, this is one of my favourite ingredients because this will make the rice really luscious and add so much flavour. Normally I make this with chicken fat, but duck fat is just as good. So a nice big dollop of duck fat in here, and that will round out the flavour and really make it tasty. Now, I've got an onion here and a knife. So I'll cut this onion into nice, fine pieces. I like the onion to go all the way through the rice, and there's nothing better than caramelised onions in the rice. Now, once they're nice and fine like this, just step them aside because we want to have everything ready to go into the pan just as we turn those chicken thighs over. Now, I love ginger, and I'm using plenty of ginger in here. It's got a great flavour, and I like to leave it nice and chunky so you can bite on them and taste that beautiful ginger. You can microplane them really fine or grate them, that's up to you. But for me, that's the perfect way. Garlic is great as well, and you just need to slice it all the way through like this. Chili, because I like spice, and chop it nice and coarse like that, and leave the seeds in it. Now I'll turn the chicken over, and you can see it's nice and crisp and golden on the other side. That's what I'm looking for. And there's plenty of duck fat in there as well. Now, at this stage, I'll grab the onions and pop them into the pan with the garlic and the ginger. There's enough duck fat in there and enough heat to cook these really quickly. So it's just a matter of stirring it around. Now, while that's sweating off, I've got coriander. I'll take the roots off and I'll use that for another dish. But the tops, the green parts and the stem will go through this whole chicken rice and make it really nice. Now, that's sweating off nicely. In goes the coriander. Now, I've got some rice here, and you'll see I've got 2 cups. Now, what I've done with the rice is I've washed it under cold water and strained it. You want to get the starch off the rice so it cooks nice and cleanly. And what I like to do is pop the rice straight into the pot like that and fry it off with all of these flavours that are in the pan here. What I want to do is get some heat into the rice and coat the rice in the duck fat and get the flavour into it. So stir it around for a minute or so till you start to see the rice become nice and white. And of course, as we're adding flavour, we need to add just a little bit of salt and some pepper to bring it all together. Now, I'm going to add some liquids here, but I'll start with some butter. A couple of drops of butter makes it really, really tasty and rounds off the flavour. And the liquid I'm adding is stock. That's what the rice absorbs, and that's what cooks the rice. A little tip, I pour it over the spoon to get all those rice grains off it and pour it in. Because I've got 2 cups of rice, I'm going to add 4 cups of stock. But just before I get to the end of it, I hold that back because I'm going to add some coconut milk as well. About half a can, and stir that in. Give it a good stir to make sure nothing's sticking. You can see it's already come to the boil, so all I need to do is pop that lid on, turn it down to a really low temperature and let it steam nice and gently, and then let it rest for another 5 minutes, and then you're good to go. Now here's my pro tip to cooking rice. Once you've got it cooked for about 18 to 20 minutes, turn it off and let it sit in the pot. Don't take the lid off it for at least 5 to 10 minutes. That just helps it to cook all the way through and make sure any little bits that are undercooked are cooked perfectly. Now you can see it looks good, and believe me, it smells even better. I'll just spoon some of this chicken out in the rice, cooked to perfection. I love having bits of chicken in there as well because you've got some meat to eat. And the other thing is, it's a classic 1-pot dish, so there's not a lot of cleaning up to do, and you know you're going to be able to feed a horde of people. Some spring onion on the top and a little squeeze of lime to bring out some flavour and give it some tang. Lime on the side there, and I'll have a little taste of it. That's great. The rice is nice and soft, and there's plenty of chicken flavour in there. This is a perfect dish for yourself, the whole family, or even the whole street.